Since 2007, when Cycle for Survival first started, they raised over $60 million for rare cancer. Now remember, 100% of donation goes to cancer research. Reporting in Boston, I'm Marcelle Hutchins. It's been an emotional couple of days here in Boston as many said their final farewell to former Boston Mayor Tom Menino, who died at the age of 71. Shortly after leaving office, Menino was diagnosed with cancer in February. As you can see, the snow has come down quite a bit, but it hasn't kept people from coming out to ask their question. But if you're not able to come out at any of the locations here in the city, you can tweet your question at hashtag GoBoston2030 or text at 617-925-6914. Reporting in Boston, I'm Marcelle Hutchins. I'm here in downtown Boston where protesters have come together after another grand jury made the decision not to indict a white officer for killing an unarmed black man. Midterms are over, and what we saw were Republicans taking control of Congress. So what does this mean? Senior polling editor for the Huffington Post, Mark Blumenthal, discusses the 2014 midterm elections.
Ouch. Or if you're a Republican. The Republicans had a good night.
It was here at the State House that a number of animal advocates from across the state met with their elected officials for Humane Lobby Day, an event that highlights animal cruelty in the state. Some of the key speakers included local animal welfare organizations and state and local legislatures. Good morning, I'm Marcelle Hutchins, and this is your J-Channel WEBN News Update. A Florida State University student is in critical condition and two others are wounded after a gunman opened fire at the university library early this morning. Campus police killed the gunman after he refused to surrender his weapon. Police have called this an isolated incident and are investigating possible motives behind the shooting. They have not yet released the gunman's identity. Classes have been canceled for today. Good morning, I am Marcelle Hutchins, and this is your J-Channel update for Tuesday, March 11, 2014. The MBTA Green Line D train derailed yesterday, leaving at least 7 injured. The car veered off the tracks, crashing into the tunnel wall between the Kenmore Square and Fenway stops. Most victims are being treated for back injuries, but all are minor. What's your question? Mayor Marty Walsh wants to know.
I want to know, is the new transportation plan, is it going to take into consideration those who are handicapped? Is it going to be handicap accessible?
Whether resident, commuter, or visitor, Mayor Walsh is asking people to participate in Go Boston 2030 question campaign, which aims to improve the city's mobility over the next 15 years.
We recognize that technology is changing fast, and the way we'll be getting around in 2030 could be dramatically different from the way it is today, and we need to accommodate our infrastructure to allow for those changes.
The new campaign is one of many public outreach efforts by the mayor and asks everyone to take part by donating their question.
I'm concerned with the buses being overloaded where people are not able to bring on shopping carts when they're going to shop. And women are not allowed, there's not room enough for women with carriages. That's frustrating for the women and the child.
With over 2,000 questions already collected, the goal is to reach 5,000. Questions will be reviewed and organized into themes.
I think I remember pretty much everything. I think for me, I sort of forget sometimes how well people could see because I was visually impaired for a while before the vision got worse.
You have donkey breath. You must fix that. Yo. Oh yeah, you can't feel her eyes at the top of her head.
Yeah.
You have big eyes.
Ashley Brow looks, sounds, and acts like any other 25-year-old who lives in Massachusetts. She can read and write, she can cook, run, and knows a thing or two about her iPhone 5.
Okay, I'm coming.
But that's not all Ashley can do. Walking into this year's 5th annual Beyond Bubby's Kitchen, you might think you've entered Top Chef Iron Bubby Bake Off. From pistachio eclair and kasha vanashkas to bread pudding, this year's event challenged Boston's 15 top chefs, including Michael Levitin, to explore traditional Jewish recipes.
It's really exciting in terms of the idea of taking these traditional ideas that some of us grew up with, or some of us, that are reflective of our backgrounds, and then to put a sort of more modern or funky twist on it.
A lot of it is just like, hey baby, like how you doing? I don't usually say anything, and I'm usually nervous, or I feel a little awkward about the whole thing, and I think it's more about empowering women to stick up for themselves and to say, no, I don't want to stop and talk to you, you know?
You know all about power, you know all about money, but you know nothing of women.
More than 200 animal advocates descended at the State House for Humane Lobby Day, an event that highlights animal cruelty in the state. Alexis Fox, State Director for the Humane Society of the United States, is working on the Farm Animal Confinement Bill.
This is the bill that would prohibit cruel cages that are so narrow the animals can't even turn around or spread their limbs.
Fox points that 90% of voters in the state support the bill.
The bill is still in committee. We're trying to get it out of committee now that there are new chairs in the committee.
My name is Marcelle Hutchins, and I am the young woman in the video. I am not blind by any means, but I chose to do this project because I have worked an entire semester following those who are visually impaired.